To talk about it, we're so pleased to be joined once again by retired Major General Paul Vallely, Skyping in from Big Sky Country in Montana. General, as always, it's so good to have you here on America's Forum. First of all,
thank you, JD.
So good to have you, but some tough issues to talk about. When you heard about the massacre at the military-run school in Peshawar yesterday, what went through your mind?
Well, I look back in the early 2000s, JD, when we conducted the offensive operations in the fall of 2001. And basically in October, November then, we flushed out the Al-Qaeda Taliban back into Peshawar. Now, Peshawar was always the home, many people may not know, of the Taliban. And so they basically went back with Al-Qaeda, set up their headquarters, their communications, their rebuilding, the restoration in that Peshawar area and what we call the tribal western area of Pakistan. And so they've been working out of there for over 10 years now, very successfully. And of course, we hit them from time to time with drones. The Pakistani army, for the most part, stays out of that area, especially in the outer regions north of Peshawar, where a lot of the Taliban have their home bases and their network established there to attack. So they're getting stronger. They will get stronger, and we'll see a whole changing environment, I think, in Afghanistan based on that. So
you're saying essentially just based on geographic proximity, with the interest of the Taliban being in and around Peshawar, this perhaps was an inviting target that was right there, smack dab obvious to the Taliban there in Pakistan.
Well, yeah, and it's a great area for them to work out of. They know the instability of the Pakistani government. We even know that the Pakistani intelligence services, ISI there, supported in many ways the Taliban up in that area. That's why they've never conducted a real strong offensive operation up there to destroy it. So they've been able to garner strength, recruit, gather in their arms, conduct operations across the border into Afghanistan, support their elements in the eastern part of Afghanistan, and they're getting stronger. There's no doubt about that.
Well, General, the Pakistanis said they were launching airstrikes against the Taliban. Do you think, in the wake of yesterday's attack, the military has now decided to really escalate operations against the Taliban in Pakistan?
Well, they could well do that, and they should do that for their own benefit because of their unstable government there, where we could see another military coup in 2015. But the Pakistani people, for the most part, they don't like Americans. They've taken polls over there. So they know that they, in some way, have got to solve their own internal problems there in Pakistan, because they definitely will affect that whole region, even though they see India as their primary adversary there. But what's happening internally in Pakistan is destroying them. It's deteriorating, and they've got to take firm action against those tribal lands up there, which basically are a homeland for the Taliban.
Paul, Hussein Haqqani, the former Pakistani ambassador to the United States, was here with us yesterday, and he said that the relationship between the U.S. and Pakistan is not so much person to person or leader to leader as it is military to military. In the minute that remains, do you agree with that? Could you elaborate on that?
Well, that's exactly right, and it's always been a military relationship. The number of Pakistani officers and NCOs that we've had to come back, that have come back to the United States to train in our different bases, Air Force, Army, as well as Navy. So that relationship has always been very strong. The political relationship has not been.
Fair enough. Paul Vallely, we appreciate your assessment and the continued strife in Pakistan. Robert Rabil was with us earlier this morning. He said it's possible that we could see yet another military coup. That dynamic could be at work as well. Paul, we're going to ask you to stay through the break. When we come back, we've got a topic to talk about, the here and now in the United States with funding, politics, and yes, our military veterans. General Paul Vallely stays with us. You come back too here.